Our family feels like it's been stuck inside just for so much of the last month. Some sick kids, tons and tons of rain, really just brutally hot weather that we thought was finally behind us, you name it. And yet, with the cooler temps yesterday, we took advantage of it and we took a long family walk. For the first time in a long time, something we used to do nightly that had just kind of been pushed aside as life got in the way. The simple little things. We were reminded really of just how much life this gives us as we played I Spy, as we walked through the neighborhood and really just played it the entire walk. We had some sweet moments racing each other to the next mailbox and seeing who was the fastest. I've got little kids, obviously. Maybe you've got teenage kids and that's not for you. But I came home and I immediately thought, why do we forget to do the little things? Because we know deep, deep down that the little things make the biggest difference for small businesses. So I'm curious, what are the little things for your business? Good morning, everybody. Thomas Joyner with Business on Purpose here. Grateful you're sitting in, joining just as I share a few thoughts that I've had with clients over the last few weeks. I was sitting in with a client a few weeks ago who had not been coaching with me for very long, and I was asking them about what separates them from some of the bigger companies doing what they do. Well, not that much anymore. And as I leaned in a little bit and just asked them to elaborate, they proved my point of what I'm talking about. Well, when we first opened, it was this thought of superior customer service meets this high quality experience. We returned every phone call. We wrote handwritten thank yous to clients after big jobs. We spent extra time on the details, spent time as a team making sure everybody was lined up. And as we've grown, it feels like there's less and less time for all of that. We kind of lost our way a little bit, they said. And I don't know about you, but maybe this sounds familiar, because it should. That's the secret sauce of most small businesses. It's the simple things like knowing the name of a client or remembering a team member's birthday and that they happen to be gluten-free. It's the random handwritten note that shows up in your mailbox instead of some whitewashed thank you email with your name inserted magically in there as if, oh, we're best friends all of a sudden. No, we're not. It's someone actually answering your call and you getting a human voice on the line instead of a press 0 to talk to customer service representative, or having a weekly check-in with your team to hear their thoughts and get feedback from the boots on the ground and just check in on them regularly. But what happens? Business picks up. It gets going faster and faster and faster. The fires grow bigger and bigger and bigger. The team grows. The daily and the weekly checklist, they just get thrown out for the almighty sales funnel. Because sales solves all, right? And yet you look up 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 years from your start and you barely recognize who you've become as a business because it's not who you set out to be. So this is my simple reminder to ask you, what little things used to set you apart that have now kind of just fallen by the wayside, that you've let go of unintentionally because you don't have the time anymore? It's a simple reminder to dive back in on those things that may have been neglected because of, well, insert your own excuse there. I know I'm guilty of it. I know we're guilty of it. So what do we do about it? Well, we dive back in on big wins and team check-ins. We dive back in on an effective team meeting and reestablishing your core values. Maybe we pull up a job role and we refresh it today. Maybe we look back at your weekly schedule and time block your week out, or we delegate one thing today, or build out a new process to make something more efficient. Shoot, maybe it's just calling a customer to thank them over the phone for their business, just randomly out of the blue. Whatever you've set aside in favor of more important things, bring it up and set aside the time for it. I'd imagine that you, like me, would find it refreshing and completely worthwhile to think, man, this is what we got into doing this in the first place to be. This is who we wanted to be. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Write down right now 10 things that you did when you started out your business that truly set you apart. That truly, truly set you apart. 10 things. Now, take one step further. How many of those things do you still do today regularly? Have you lost maybe your secret sauce? And be honest, if you've only done it once this year and you used to do it weekly, that doesn't count. No, that's not regular, consistently processes that set you apart. Now, pick 2 of those that are seriously important. How can you re-implement those things into your routine? How can you maybe recapture a bit of that magic that you had and maybe remember a bit of why you got into this in the first place? Maybe it's getting your team together and showing them the list and then delegating one to each of them and saying, hey, here's what's on your list, right? Here's what's on your job role now. You can take it, do it, and make sure that we are who we say we are and who we wanted to be when we started out. We can't lose the soul of our business as sales really, really increase. That's something that happens time and time again. We let go of who we wanted to be as the demands get higher and higher. No, it's what got us the sales in the first place and why people place their faith in us to get it done. So gather your team up this week, put an appointment on the calendar to think this stuff through, recapture the things that truly set you apart from everyone else, and watch the joy come back into your day-to-day. Watch the joy come back into what you do, maybe for the first time in a long time, to where you can get back and say, yep, that's why I got into this in the first place. It takes intentionality, it takes leadership, it takes decisive action. But you've got that. Now you just have to go and do it. All right, take the time, write those 10 things down, start crossing the ones off that you missed out on, delegate it out to the team. Get back to who you want to be. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope y'all have a great day.